Welcome to Politics Done Right on KPFT. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Give me a call at 713-526-5738. That is 713-526-KPFT. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Again, thank you for spending this next hour with me, or for whatever amount of time you're able to spend with me. It's my honor. My dear friend, my dear engineer.
Oh, yes, Egberto.
How are you doing, Shannon?
I am doing fabulous because I'm here with you.
We're going to have some fun today, aren't we going to have some fun?
We are.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before I get into anything, folks, I want to tell you that something great happened at KPFT. You know, we actually got ourselves a 100-watt transmitter, which means Houston, the entire metropolitan Houston and entire Southeast Texas will now be covered under one and only KPFT. So please do remember that we want you to help us. You know, we got to pay the thing off. So, you know, we need you to keep giving to the station. We really need to keep it going. This is the only station in this area that gives you this kind of coverage. Anyhow, what are we going to be talking about today? It's going to be a good show because I have a fairly long blog to read based on a conversation I had at one of my blogs, a conversation I had on my Facebook page with a friend who had some concerns, who had some issues with the racial climate that we're going through right now. And I really, really wanted to have that covered and covered well. And also I wanted to get your input. You know, I tell you, Facebook is a platform where many feel free to release their most innermost prejudices. It causes many who would rather avoid conflict to pull back or
100,000 watts.
Go into a shell. And before I finish that, I forgot. It's 100,000 watts. I don't know exactly what I said, but it's 100,000 watts. I may have said something crazy. Forgive me. Continuing. I love the social media platform because of the relative freedom it presents. I love that one can be as public or as anonymous as one wants to be. That reality leaves a lot of room for those who can stomach the incivility to instead re-engage the uncivil without reciprocating the incivility, the attacks, and otherwise. Many times, that dialogue can plant seeds not only in the person one is engaging with, but in those who are watching the discussion. I had one of those discussions in a thread earlier this week on race dynamics that I want to explore with you. So here's the question. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it. I really, really want to hear from you guys. I really want folks to engage. I want folks to know that when you call into Politics Done Right, it is a simply non-judgmental platform that you have where you can say your piece, where we can discuss, where we can change minds, where we can actually make a difference. So you know what time it is approaching when I get here.
Sorry about that before.
For the weekly blog post.
Okay, I titled this one, Touching Dialogue with My Friend's Frustration with the Country's Race Dynamics. Think about that title. Touching Dialogue with My Friend's Frustration with the Country's Race Dynamics. A News.Mike article was placed on my Facebook page and got quite a bit of attention. For those who do not know what Mike is, it's a media site tailored to millennials, young people between the ages of 18 and 34. And you know what? I like hanging with the 18 to 34 group because it makes me feel young. It gives me a new youth, don't you think?
Oh, well, I'm glad I can help.
Yes, you help a whole lot. I try to keep with the young crowd so that my mind stays fresh. But anyhow, continuing with my blog, the article is titled, "One Tweet Perfectly Captures the Racist Double Standard of the Media's Shooting Coverage." I used the article as a catalyst to foment a more substantive discussion. The article started as follows, and I'm just going to read a little piece of the article, then I'll continue into the blog. The country's reeling from Vester Lee Flanagan's graphic video recording of the moment he shot and killed two journalists, Allison Parker and Adam Ward, during a live TV segment in Monetta, Virginia, on Wednesday morning. While many outlets opted not to share the video, including Mike, publications like the New York Daily News chose to use frames from the video on its front page. CNN announced it would be airing the video, but only once an hour. But as the debate over using the footage continued, one Twitter user succinctly captured the racist double standard that comes with these kinds of decisions. But as the debate over using the footage continued, one Twitter, again, I repeated myself, but anyhow, let's continue. I asked, and what did the tweet say? It said as follows. I watched Eric Garner die on the news. I watched Walter Scott die on the news. I watched Tamir Rice die on the news. TF, you mean too graphic. And we are on radio, so that cannot be expanded any further, but you get the picture. I asked my friends and followers for their thoughts. A conversation I got. But there was one message that touched me. It touched me because I heard the exasperation in the person's prose. I read between the lines and discerned not only what she was saying, but also what she wasn't sure she wanted to say. A white friend responded that they found it hard to understand how people are unable to see racism in the media. A black friend then responded that we have to create our own narrative and our own narrative must be louder than theirs. She then said that is why she respected bloggers. My white friend took that response as one directed to her as a white person and responded as follows. This is not my narrative, being white. This is propaganda to perpetuate systemic and endemic racism. Smiling, happy people, victims of crime when they are white. Sorry, not my narrative. I am not owning this pile of lies. Let me qualify what she was trying to say. The article from Mike from News.Mike had two smiling faces of the reporter and her photographer that were actually smiling and looking happy and, in the best light. Ironically, my black friend was really inferring people's media, bloggers, versus indoctrinating corporate media. In other words, she wasn't responding in that regard. She was actually saying, she wasn't talking about the picture. She was talking about media in general, the corporatocracy versus the otherwise. I responded to my white friend with the following comment. This is what I'm telling my friend now. It's important that as a white person, you engage. Most people, black, white, or otherwise, are followers and succumb to peer pressure. More white people must visibly call out prejudice and racism so that other good folks feel they have backing and not standing out alone in support of what is morally right. My white friend then responded. She showed what I call the moment of movement desperation that I immediately understood. She commented as follows. Egberto, you see me speak out often. It costs a lot. Honestly, I am tired of speaking. I am met with us versus them every time I look. Even, and she named the friend, is happy to us versus them. And then happy when you remind me of my responsibilities. I recognize my responsibilities. This is still her talking. I recognize my responsibilities even when they extend to moral obligations that have zero impact in my day-to-day existence. Many loved ones say I am too political. I think I agree with them. I get very little appreciation from those I support. I do not get openly insulted by very many people I support. I get insulted and told to be quiet for being white. This does not improve the quality of my life. I feel used. People want my voice, appreciate me as a white ally. I will always do the right thing in my world, be the change I want to see in the world. But being active vocally, I think I'm almost done being the easy target for angry black people. That's what my friend responded to me. So then I replied with the following comment. I said, your comment requires a thoughtful response. First of all, one should never shut up because some believe you should shut up for being white or on a non-white issue. It does not work that way. As humans, we can be empathetic on race, gender, physical attributes, mental attributes, and the permutations thereof. The fact is, every race issue affects us all, and as such, ideally, all should be engaged in solving it. There is a school of thought out there where some believe a movement at times must leave space for the aggrieved to conjugate separately. I personally feel that defeats the purpose. I would wager that those who have told you to shut up are from that school of thought. I know race is nothing but a social construct. I know that. As such, we play into the moral depravity of racism when we use the same construct for separating ourselves. Look, when a black person tells you to shut up in the movement for being white, remember that is not an attack on you, but who they perceive you to represent. It is a self-defense mechanism. They may not be aware that you are fully schooled in the tenets of privilege and supremacy. You may not have earned in their eyes that position of being an ally. That is not your fault. It is not theirs. It is history's fault. When a white person attacks you for taking the moral position in the movement, that as well is a self-defense mechanism. To acknowledge what you are doing, what they are not, what they are unable to do for whatever reason, requires them to force you off of your moral high horse. You cannot acquiesce to either. You have got to keep your eye on the ball and stay engaged. For too long, too many people have quit as soon as there is resistance. The beneficiaries of racism, the plutocracy, is making the bet that will always be the case. That's the bet they're making. They're making that bet. You can't let them win that bet. The process has begun to drive racial and cultural wedges in the country. It is by design. As income and wealth disparity increases, as the 1% continues their pilfering, they can only maintain power having peons fighting among themselves. That's the only way they can keep power. Race and culture creates the perfect fault line. We must not allow that. Stay strong, my friend. After that dialogue, my friend continued to keep her eye on the ball. She called me up as well and said, wow, we are on the same page. A few weeks ago, I wrote the blog post titled, Race Isn't the Big Divide. We are just being played. That is worth a read. Get to my site, egbertowillies.com. It's linked in the post as well at politicsdoneright.com. Folks, we are being played. That is the whole thing that I want to get across. Please do remember, folks, this is a call-in show. The telephone number is 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. 713-526-KPFT. I want to hear from you. Honest discussion, no judgment. I want to hear your thoughts. That is what this is all about. generally or recently we have been having a preponderance of males calling. Come on, women, we want to hear from you as well. We don't need the preponderance of testosterone. So let's get busy and start the call with Teddy. Teddy, line 2. Okay, come on in, Terry. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, my friend, how you doing?
Talk to me, sir.
Well, I don't necessarily want to. I just point out the fact that race is around a lot longer than politics has.
Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of got a little interference. Can you repeat for me?
No, I was going to say that the construct of race has been around a lot longer than modern politics.
Right. Absolutely.
So I think that while race may be a method by which, as you say, we are being played, I think it's more than that. That being said, I think that the problems in America today, vis-a-vis race, vis-a-vis police violence, vis-a-vis crime, tends to be filtered through a lens depending on where you stand on that racial equilibrium.
Exactly.
And that's, I'll just sit back and listen to what others say.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that, Terry. And Terry, before you go, I want to keep Terry on hold for me, please. But I want you to go to my, I don't know if you saw it already. There's a great video out there that I placed on my website. I didn't do it. It's somebody else that did it that kind of tells a pretty good story. But we'll talk about that later, Terry. Thank you for calling in, and I'll put you on hold. Let's go to Barry in line 1.
Are you sure you want to go to Barry?
Are you Barry that I usually listen to at night with the Mike Honig show that comes on Mondays at 9 p.m.?
Yes, the one who has concluded that liberalism is a mental
Yes,
disorder.
How you doing, my friend? Talk to me.
And this namby-pamby liberal kumbaya turns my stomach.
Oh, my God. Tell me why it's turned your stomach.
I could have sworn that we were in a free society. Now I have some moral obligation to get into a race debate. I have moral duty to make sure everybody sees races through my own eyes.
No, you don't. You don't have. Here's the deal. You don't have to do anything, Barry.
Exactly.
Right. Look here.
Use the word duty, though.
Let me tell you what I talk about duty. If on my website I have things that says political involvement should be a requirement for citizenship. It's not an order, it's a suggestion. And let me tell you something. If you want to have a good society, you'll talk about these things, but you can also have an insular society, a libertarian type society where you think that you're all on your own and you can go off. That's fine. I don't have problems with those types of issues as long as what you do doesn't have an effect on other folk. But anyway, make your point, my dear buddy.
No, apparently what I do does affect you, because if I go make $100 million, you want to take 95 million of it.
You're chained.
It's like you staying. Wait a minute. It's like you staying out of my way and staying out of my business. You're telling me that I got some moral duty to break up fights. I got moral duty to go interfere if I hear an ethnic joke.
Barry, you know why I love you, Barry? Barry. Let me tell you something about you, Barry. You know what? There's one thing I gotta say about you from listening to you on all the different shows. You're one consistent young man. And that is something that I have a lot of respect for. You're consistently wrong, but you're consistent. So I really.
Last thing I want to tell you.
Yes, sir.
We had a call last week where a caller chided you for being condescending to the Hispanics. He was saying that you saying they're too stupid to go find an ID or whatever.
He did.
With the fact that you were surprised to know how condescending and how paternalistic pandering you do to the poor little blacks and browns shocked me.
Well, let me tell you.
I thought I was the only one that was aware of that.
Okay, well, let me tell you what I heard after he said that. I received so many calls, and I'm telling you, so many calls that told me that I need to continue doing things exactly the way I'm doing it because the guy didn't really get the point. And what I'll tell you, Barry, before I let you go is this, okay? You can feel that. You can feel that way, and I respect you. I respect the way that you think.
If you respect me, you stay out of my pocket.
Okay, I tell you what. I'll try to stay out of your pocket, Barry, okay?
No, you won't try it. You'll be in favor of lower taxes, tough on immigration,
all right,
no
my brother.
gay marriages, and anti-abortion. Those are going to be your consistent goals for
brother.
2015, okay?
My lines are full, so I'm going to let you go, but you keep calling and you keep listening. You're a good man.
Give me a break on this race called Kumbaya.
Okay.
It is weak. It is musty.
I stay with my Kumbaya. Have a great one, Barry. Take care, brother. Okay, let's go to line 3. That would be Elizabeth. Come on in, Elizabeth. How you doing today?
Hi, fine, thanks. How are you?
Excellent. Talk to me.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So just something just right straight from my heart. As soon as I saw the news about the deputy, he should rest in peace. But then all the backlash of comments and articles that have been written just kind of miscontextualizing that incident.
Right.
I felt quite afraid in my heart for all of humanity because I remembered the genocide in Rwanda and how that was just started by a misinformed radio report.
Exactly.
And so I feel like it's really incumbent upon all of it, because I'm a white lady, right? It's really incumbent upon all the people of privilege, which includes, white people, men, in certain...
That's okay. Elizabeth, we lost you by mistake. Please call back. Let's go to number 4 and we'll go back to her. Number 4? Okay. Elizabeth, we miss you. I need to hear you again, but let's go to Bill.
This is me.
Okay, Bill, come on in. And Elizabeth, if you're listening, please call back because I want to touch on something very important that you said. That is an important concept that you were about to put out there. But come on in, Bill. Talk to me.
Okay, we are being drawn by this election. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly. And, this thing with Hillary, I mean, the reason she's being low-key is because she knows it's going to be a long slog, right?
Right.
I'm not a Hillary proponent. We've already talked last week. Okay, you remember what Machiavelli said? He said, those that choose to learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them.
Right.
Okay, so now... what you have is this classic setup that these, extreme right-wing neocons are doing, which is the same thing that Hitler and Goebbels did, organized Germany, which they had a reason why they did it.
Right.
And the whole deal is nobody, they made like 10,000 movies and books have been written about what the Nazis did, but they never wrote a book about why it even happened in the first place.
Right. Look, you're right about that, okay? And that is something
so now let's go to George Bush Jr.
Yes.
Okay, remember the day after 9/11 when he thought he was John Wayne? He put the hat on and he said, we don't care what it's about. We're coming after you.
Right.
Okay, I got here in Houston in 94. Okay, I knew that the terrorism was coming at least 3 to 4 years.
Well, we all knew about it, but nobody said much. We knew what was going on.
That's because they control. Look, they punked everybody.
Bill. I need to stop you for 1 second because I don't want to get too much off subject. But what I want to tell you is you're correct about that, and I want to bring one other thing as. It's all about the military-industrial complex that creates...
Exactly.
What I want to do...
I 3 to 5 major entities that work in unison without holding cards.
Look, I got you, Bill. I got to go to the other call because Elizabeth is back on line 3 that we just dropped. So you keep calling, keep listening, and your point is well taken, sir. Let's go to Elizabeth on line 3.
What was it all about?
Thank you, brother. Elizabeth, you're on. Continue, my friend.
Thank you. So what I was starting to say, to put a positive spin on this, I really believe from my own experience that what we can all do, I was talking about people in positions of privilege connecting to humanity of everyone.
Right.
Not just other people in their same privileged class.
Right.
And for me, what did that was music growing up. I was in a choir. I was in the Oakland Youth Chorus. And I teach children music. And I know that when children participate in sports or music together or any other meaningful activity, Bible study, Quran study, whatever it is, there's a more of a likelihood that they will see people that are different from them as people.
Right.
And that has been shown to reduce, senseless violence that's just motivated by fear.
Let me just say one thing, Elizabeth, and that is what a lot of people complain about integration and these other things. That is one of the most important pieces of integration. In other words, if you realize that people that don't necessarily look like you have the same values, have the same family values, they have the same needs, they have the same wants, they have all these things, it becomes a lot different. Now it becomes a lot harder to look at them as the other, which is what guys like Trump they're actually trying to do. There's a reason behind this madness, however, and that is, first of all, if you take a look at, you sound like you're a pretty young person. Young folks get along. great among each others from all kinds of different cultures because they've been in such close proximity in general. I'm talking about in areas like cities and so forth. Now, that has been a very big positive for society at large. What you have when you have somebody like a Trump come to pass, where he's trying to bring up these issues, when you see Fox News try to make Black Lives Matter a bad moniker or whatever, what they're trying to do is instill, and this instilling right now, specifically instill in white people, hey, there's something that you must fear there. One of the reasons with the discussion that I had with the person I had on Facebook was so important and why I wanted to engage her so deeply is I told her that she had that ability to get through to people that others would not otherwise. She can break through to the Fox people. She can break through to quite a few other people. You can break through to quite a few people that, given your thought process, is a positive to society on the whole. So, I mean, having somebody like yourself call the show with that type of a knowledge and understanding things like privilege and supremacy, etc., in Houston, Texas, is wonderful. Your comment.
Thank you so much. Well, it was interesting. I just read a portion from the book by Brene Brown. She's a social worker. It's called Rising Strong. And she has a bit at the end about how she had a long journey to figure out why she would never look a person in the eye when she gave them, food or a handout, or when she supported them if they were, for example, a homeless person. She would never look them in the eye. And she got to the bottom of it. She realized it was because she felt ashamed that she might ever need help from some people.
Right.
As a person of privilege, she thought she had to have it all together.
Well, I want to touch on something that you mentioned in there, Elizabeth, because I've been talking about one of the biggest fears that the plutocracy has. You'll hear me talk a whole lot about the plutocracy. One of the biggest fears that they have is that someday, and let me see if you get what I'm saying here, someday the barrios, the ghettos, and Appalachia realize that they have so much in common and that they were all being hurt by this great system, that they've been all used by this great system.
Oh, yeah.
When those three folks get together and realize that they should be aligning on class and social issues, the country will change. You're probably too young to realize when there was one candidate that attempted to do it, but he never followed through back in 84. But I tell you what, any candidate right now that forgets about the minutia right now and go into saying, I am going to work between those three groups and put those three groups together, you'll see a change in America rather quickly. Comments, and then I'll move on.
Absolutely. I have to say I look forward to the day when people start connecting with each other. Anybody who has been wronged or hurt or betrayed by this system of hierarchy and privilege, when we connect to each other as humans, we will have a richer life, we will have more power, we will have the ability to create our own reality together, and I look forward to the day. I pray for that day, and I thank you so much for your good work.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, and let me tell you, I thank you for your good work. You are wise beyond your years, and I think I'm getting a picture here that I have to go to traffic. My boss is saying, let's go to the traffic. So
all right.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Bye-bye. Bless.
Take care.
All right. Thank you, Egberto, immensely. All right. Mostly cloudy skies today. 20% chance of a stray shower and thunderstorms through Friday night. Low of 74 degrees tonight. Expect sunny skies tomorrow morning with increased clouds during the afternoon and a high of 91 degrees. It is currently 89 degrees and mostly cloudy skies here in the heart of Montrose. With Houston humidity at 61%, it feels like 98 degrees out there. Galveston is approximately 86 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. Huntsville, 92 degrees and clear skies. And Goodrich is 94 and partly cloudy skies. But now let's take a look at our traffic. On 59 Southwest Freeway, outbound at Hillcroft, an accident is affecting the center lane, left lane, and shoulder. That's backing up traffic from Chimney Rock to Bel Air. And on the West Loop, northbound at Old Katy Road, a multiple vehicle accident is affecting the left lane, and traffic is is backed up from Forness to the Katy Freeway. That's just already congesting in a very congested area at the moment. And on 59 Southwest Freeway inbound at the West Loop, an accident is affecting the exit ramp, and traffic is backed up in that area from Westland to Chimney Rock. Major accident reported at Kingwood and the East Tex Freeway frontage road outbound, and a major accident at Westheimer and Walnut Bend Lane. Back to you, Egberto, in the studio.
Muchísimas gracias, hermanita. Okay, folks, remember this is a call-in show. The number is 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Now, we're going to go to Brody. Brody, line 5. Let's see. Brody, line 5, you're on.
Hello, how's it going?
All right, how's it going with you, sir?
It's good. I'm actually a fellow KPFT show host myself, good sir.
Great. Which show are you doing?
I do Funk to 5 from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
Let's tell folks again, because you never know. So there are a lot of people that are driving it from 2 to 5. So tell them tell them about your show real quickly.
Well, it's Funk to 5, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Tuesday mornings. It's really just music, a little bit of chatter, but mostly music, and it's, just anything funky. Funk, disco, electronic music from the 70s all the way up to the present. So it's just keeping it funky.
Well, folks, don't forget to keep it funky between 2 and 5 in the mornings, because we have another KPFT show here that's worth listening to. What do you want to tell me, Brody?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about that young lady, Elizabeth, that was just chattering. And
that very wise woman talked to me.
Yes, I completely agree with her. I mean, she had some great points, and one of my things that I feel like I really connected with her about was the music aspect.
Right.
Music really is a universal language sometimes, and it can really bring a message home to people, just because in today's society it's very easy to be lazy. It's very easy to be dumb. It's very easy to just take the easy way out. And that's the thing in modern society. It's so hard to get people to work hard. It's so hard to get people to do the research themselves. So you have the media just giving these people, just throwing all this stuff at their face all the time, and it's just opinions and blah, blah, blah. And for example,
Brody, you're correct. One of the things that really got to me that Elizabeth said is, she said after the officer was sadly shot, her biggest concern was what would happen after, because she actually knew that folks would start to get scapegoated, and that was her fears. And my answer to her fears is, okay, you have to do something about that, because when the crazy things start happening on Facebook, on the chain emails and all of that, you have to throw yourself in there and be that backstop that prevents that from happening. But continue, Brody.
Oh, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy. Obviously in recent months, all these little shootings and, mishaps, and obviously the Black Lives Matter, movement. And the show right before mine is The Groove, and the Groove guys are great.
Right.
And I've been getting involved with them, just kind of talking about Black Lives Matter to kind of educate myself more, just because they actually personally knew that one young lady who was killed out there
Sandra
from
Bland.
Prairie View.
Yes. Ashton knows her quite well, yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I was kind of educating myself through them, because they actually know, they live that life every single day. And as a young white male, I do kind of have that shade over my eyes sometimes. I feel like I don't really know, because I don't really watch too much news, because I feel like I don't ever really get the story from the news other than just, ratings, hype type stuff.
That is why that News.Mike article was important to me, for the younger folks like yourself, because again, a lot of young people no longer believe the news or get the news that way. Their news really come from Facebook and Reddit and all these other instruments. So that's where I concentrate most of my time now, on Reddit, on Facebook and all these other places, because that's where you guys are. I look at the young folks as the future. A lot of that is my main goal is to work with folks my age, but really the folks that are really going to be making a difference later on in life. Folks your age, folks Shannon's age, folks Elizabeth's age. You guys are the ones that are going to make the difference. That's what's going to happen. Anything else you want to say before I go on to the next call, my friend?
I was just going to ask about that Mike. How do you spell that?
It's News.Mike. It's NEWS.MIC. Okay?
Okay,
But here's
perfect.
the deal. Go ahead and you can hit it from my site. Go to politicsdoneright.com and go to the show for today, and all those links are there, okay?
Perfect.
Thank you very much, and you have a good one, my brother.
Thanks. See you later.
Okay, let's go to the next call, and I'm not sure which one it. I think the next one is going to be Johnny. Number 1. Yeah. Okay, Johnny, come on in.
Hey, I got some good news for our Republican friend Barry.
Oh,
and people who think like him.
Oh my
when
God!
It comes to,
it's
people's
Johnny.
Income and winnings of lottery and stuff.
Yes, Johnny.
He's got the impression that all liberals think alike in lockstep.
Right.
Especially like we want to take all his money, 90% or 80% of his multi-million-dollar lottery winnings, if that ever should happen.
Right.
And that's not true. Lots of people like me would be in favor of him keeping the majority of his money. Yeah. We want to heavily tax winnings of people who don't really need it.
Right.
I know lots of wealthy people who buy lottery tickets. They've got no business, and they get a winning lottery ticket. Those are the ones you want to have a special thing for set aside, where they get to lose 60% or 80%.
Johnny.
Whereas someone like Barry, he gets to keep 80%.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if he takes a financial course and takes up some financial coursework and studies about finances and how to use money properly, or he demonstrates the knowledge, he gets an additional 5% of the winnings.
Okay, Johnny, let me ask you this, because today I'm trying to keep the subject on the racial issue that we discussed earlier. So let me ask you a question now, since you're on, my friend. First of all, I want to say it's the part about the winnings that you're talking about is a moral thing. Okay, society is for us all, and we created society, and nobody's an island. All those people that thought they made their earnings on their own, they're dreaming. It is based on cumulative knowledge throughout history. So nobody's an island.
Lottery is a socialized
exactly.
way of tackling a problem that's created by capitalism.
Absolutely. So there's no doubt that I don't feel any guilt when we say high taxes on marginal increases in incomes at all. I think it's a moral thing. Now, I got 20 more seconds I can give you, and let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on what we've discussed so far?
I've tuned in late, but if you talk about Black Lives Matter, the thing that some moron white people say, that if all lives matter, my response to them is, if we treated everyone equally and well, and cops didn't single out black people or Latino people to harass, to intimidate, to hurt and kill illegally, then Black Lives Matter would never have evolved. Black Lives Matter has evolved because of the reality of the way cops treat people, especially people of color.
Thank you, Johnny.
End of story.
Johnny, thank you very much. You have a wonderful day. You keep listening. You keep calling, my brother, okay?
Black lives do matter, and let's take the saying off the side of the cop car, to protect and serve. That goes to Planned Parenthood. And let's come up with a different saying for cop cars until they clean house.
Thank you very much, sir. You have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye, Johnny. Bye. Folks, do remember this is a call-in show. Telephone number 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-KPFT. I think our next caller is Joe.
Hey, how are you?
How are you doing, Joe?
I'm well, thanks.
Talk to me.
It was interesting, the three groups that you were talking about that are going to hopefully unite.
That get together, yes, sir.
You said the barrios, the ghettos,
the ghettos, and Appalachia.
Appalachia.
Yeah,
okay.
And you understand why, right? Let's see if you got what I'm talking about.
Yeah, most definitely. And the interesting thing is there might be an unlikely.
Oops, we lost you again. Don't worry about it. Give us a call back, and we'll get you right back on. For now, let's go to James.
Hello?
Hey, James.
Hello.
Come on in, James. Okay. We lost the other caller, so before I come to you, I want to tell the other caller, I am sorry we lost you, Joe. Give us a call back, and we'll put you in the head of the queue. Folks, the telephone number, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Come on in. Talk to me.
The three things. One of them concerning the issue that you're speaking on today.
Yes, sir.
But quick one question. You had a Mario, I believe, Marlo had a guest on last Wednesday. I don't know if you are aware of the gentleman. He made a provocative comment, and I don't know who the person was. I can't remember it right now, but I was hoping that you would have picked up on that conversation.
On which show was that? Marlo's?
Marlo, she was interviewing someone. I can't remember now. I've tried to, but it's been time past.
You're talking about here on KPFT?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Last Wednesday, I believe.
And you said that the person made a controversial statement. What was the controversial
No,
statement?
it wasn't controversial. It was really interesting. It was in the political statement, but some information that he had placed on out there that I don't even know if it would have been an interesting conversation for your show, because it was kind of a revelation in a sense.
If you don't remember what it is now, you know how to find me on the internet at politicsdoneright.com, and you can always get that to me. And believe me, I follow and listen to everything my listeners talk to me about. So, absolutely.
Well, anyway, another thing, if it was, why can't, if they're taking this immigration issue seriously, why can't they, the policy be made to where they speed up the immigration process, and even if they're not ready, I believe a lot of how you say, Mexicans come here, they don't want to be citizens. They come here for the money. But if they, and I have a delivery business, and my percentage of my business goes to restaurants, and I don't see no way that America, that part of the American business could survive without them. And because they do the work that nobody else, that a lot of us won't do. Plus, there's so much work that even they can't cover it all.
James, look, you hit something that is very important, James. Let's be frank. The frank answer is the following. The undocumented workers that are here in America, America wants them. Don't be fooled.
Right.
Businesses want them. The only reason they're here is that businesses want them. And the only reason and what politicians are doing right now is they're making them scapegoats just to win elections. And after the election is over, it'll all be forgotten. Let me tell you, right now they're simply being used as scapegoats. The problem is this. When that politician wins his election, the damage that he has done to society with the vial that he puts out there, with the wedges and the divisions that he put in front of people, that is long lasting. So while he's doing that to drum up the carnality, the fear of the other in people, he's doing that just to win. That's all. Yeah. But after he wins, that hurt stays. And that is why we as people who know cannot allow them to get away with that. Yeah. And that's why we do what we do.
What I believe undocumented people out there should do with, they should come together and ask to go back out, just to be deported.
The economy
would, let them handle that process.
The economy would collapse.
If they had that kind of, I don't know what the term is for balls, but then that would end that conversation quick.
You're absolutely right.
About the racial issue, it's the same issue with that. All this race issue just brought up for political purpose. That's all it's about. Because I believe as a society, we come a long way in dealing with our racial issues, and I believe we can go farther. It's just that we have the wealthy entities that control society. They're using this opportunity for their gain as people.
Sir, you're absolutely wise about that issue, sir. You're absolutely wise. Now, thank you very much for that call, and you have a wonderful day, James. And we're going to go to line 1 with Joe. Joe, was James right or what?
Hey, I'm back again. Hey, so I was talking about the 3 groups that you were referring to.
Yes. Appalachia, the ghettos, and the barrios.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And there might be a surprising person that's going to unite these 3 groups.
Name that person, please.
Donald Trump.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder if he's not a Democratic plant.
No.
I mean, he's doing the Democrats. He's doing us so many favors by just describing how
Joe,
racist GOP is. It's incredible.
Joe, let me tell you this. For the longest time, I believed exactly what you said. It's like, wow, what a favor. But then I wrote a blog post last week for the show last week. I don't know if you listened to the show last week, where I said, folks, if you think Donald Trump is a joke, please review the 2014 election in France. It's either he's a joke or he realizes what has happened in France and thinks it could happen here. Okay?
Yeah.
So we I don't want to feel like I know more than anybody else. I don't. And that is what makes me fearful, because it could be that he's a joke, but it could be the elections in France 2014. So that's my only concern, my friend.
Yeah, I understand. I just think he's doing so much more damage to the Republican Party.
Well, we'll see.
Than anybody else could.
We'll see, Joe. We'll see. I look, I want you to be right. I want you to be so right. But I also want us to be prepared to, as citizens, as knowledgeable citizens, to not let these guys get away with using us as pawns. Hey, anything else, Joe, before I jump to the next caller?
That's it. Bob Dylan's second album.
Thank you.
He talked about a pawn in the game.
Yes, sir. You keep on listening, keep on calling, and thank you very much for listening. And let's jump to Dwayne, and then we'll go back on number 4, and then we'll get to the other call. Come on in, Dwayne.
Hello. How are you today?
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I have a message from your local station board, Sheriff, and that is a town hall meeting where we want each of you listeners to bring your concerns, your issues, and your just overall, what do you have to say to the KPFT local station board, and what do you have to say to the local station management? On September 12th, which is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we will be at 8309 Brandon Street in the heart of Sunnyside. The St. Paul Baptist Church will host a KPFT town hall meeting, and we hope to have many of you there so that we can get your views, your needs, and your concerns. And hopefully you'll take ownership of them, and you'll join some of the wonderful committees that we have in the station to make the station what you want it to be. So come and join us. All listeners are welcome. September 12th at 2 p.m. at 8309 Brandon Street. And I hope this information will be available on the website, kpft.org, soon. But just remember, September 12th, 2 p.m., 8309 Brandon Street, the KPFT Town Hall meeting. Be there.
Hey, Dwayne, thank you very much for your, what is it called? Community radio station review or whatever that's called.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Great. Anything else you want to add to this topic that we're talking about real quickly?
Other than the fact, and I love the fact that you have a bank of lines all the time, so it forced me not to speak. But some believe that Governor Bush was a joke. So let's be careful with the Donald.
I'm glad you see it that way too. And Joe, I think other people are starting to look at it that way, my friend Joe. Anyway, Dwayne, look, you have a good one. Thank you very much for calling in. Keep listening, keep calling, keep talking. Okay, brother?
Thank you.
Take care now. Okay, let's go to Roberto. And by the way, folks, some lines are opening now, so please remember this is a call-in show, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Let's get some more ladies and some more women calling into the show. 713-526-5738. I know you have something to add to this issue. Roberto, let me hear what you have to say, my friend.
Okay, Mr. Egberto, first of all, I want to say that you're doing a great job. I think you have came a long way, that you have to be saying what's on your mind and also to be spoken, to let your voice to be heard. But you were talking about racist. That's the topic I just want to just shortly, tap into.
Wait a minute. Is this Roberto, my brother from Panama?
Yes, sir.
¿Cómo estás, hermano?
I'm doing just fine. Estoy haciendo muy bien.
Talk to me.
Again, you were talking about the topic about racism.
Yes, sir.
First of all, as you know, racism is something that has not been learned or actually bred into. It's something that has been taught.
Right.
So we have came a long way, as you have came from Panama. The fact is that we have come from a culture that was very diverse. Diverse to the fact is that we have multi of different cultures that is down there as in Panama.
Right.
So with that said, we have not come with the idea, thinking or believing that you don't like somebody because of the color or the way that they are, the way that they speak, the way that they look. We just look at people as humans. As we understand your nationality, I think this is one of my big things that I've always said, that
why should we identify what type of race? The fact is that you all are saying, if you're from America, you should be just an American. When you go into the fact is that you are claiming that you're white American, you're Afro-American, you're whatever, then again, right now you are start separating and trying to define
Roberto,
who you are by different race.
Let me interrupt you in a second here because now we're in our last 10 minutes and I need to get in a lot of calls, but I want to tell you this. First of all, you're correct. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we still have to do some identification simply for the reasons of numerical analysis for what's going on. But I live for the day. I know my daughter will see the day when everybody says not only that we are Americans, because that is diminutive, that we are all just humans habitating this planet, and that that nationalities and countries are just there to delineate certain boundaries, but nothing else. So I got to go to another call, Roberto. Look, I appreciate you calling, and we must talk, hermano. ¿Está bien?
Okay. Buen trabajo.
Tómalo con calma. Muchas gracias. Chao. Okay, let's go to Gerald.
Hello?
Oh, okay. Gerald, come on in, my friend.
Yeah, I'm here. How are you today?
All right. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Say, listen, I heard some talk.
Yes.
I think it's crazy.
Okay.
I heard some talk earlier. I think it was from you.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs who earn their money,
yes,
they don't deserve to keep it?
Yes, they do. I'm an entrepreneur, sir.
Well, what was this business earlier about?
Let me qualify it for you, my dear friend. Okay, I am an entrepreneur. I have a software company. America is a wonderful country. America was great to me. I was able to come to this country, go to school, work for corporate America for a few years, and then created my own company and make quite a bit of money and survive perfectly. Did I do that all on my own? Absolutely not. This country created the environment, created the infrastructure, created great colleges, created great universities, created a great society that allowed me to excel within that society. It is my duty. I owe it back to society to ensure that that opportunity is provided by everybody to everybody else. That opportunity for all of us who are baby boomers. These people were able to get the college loans. These people were able to get the GI bills. These people were able to get Pell Grants. In today's society, because we've got into a constant cut mentality and not wanting to pay any more marginal increases in taxes, we have marginalized our kids. We have marginalized society. So when you hear me talk like that, what I'm trying to say is those of us, those baby boomers, those entrepreneurs who this country was perfectly perfect for, we owe it back to society. I intend to pay for it, and I intend to ensure that all Americans who benefited from this great society pay their dues back to society, so that what is occurring today where we have a disparity in income and wealth because of a selfish mentality that we have within this country is mitigated. So what you heard me say, I stand by. What you talk about an entrepreneur keeping most of his money or his money for what he's earned, I stand by. They're not mutually exclusive at all.
How much is too much? In your opinion, is it okay to have $1 billion?
Sir, here's the deal.
$5 billion, is that too much?
Nobody on this planet has ever earned $5 billion. And if you
want, we have plenty of billionaires in this country and this world.
Did you hear what I just said, sir?
Leaders of industry.
Dear sir, let me qualify this, and I have to run after this. Nobody in this country, and if you want to go through a mathematical analysis with me where I come to show you that billion...
I just look at the Forbes 400, it says otherwise.
Sir, no, listen to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is as follows, my friend.
Yeah.
And if you have to listen to get what I'm saying. Please, don't, if we do this, we can actually get there.
Please tell me.
Okay, here's the deal. We have a capitalist society where those billions were made on the appreciation of capital. It was not made on worth. We created that type of system that generated wealth not earned. How do you handle a system that generates wealth not earned? You have some way that you can get it back. I tell you what, this is another subject that I have to carry at another time, and I would love for you to call back then where we can have a longer discussion on this. But it's an important discussion, and I think it's something we should have because a lot of people don't quite get the reality that no billionaire has really earned that $1 billion. Okay,
well, I'm going to have to call back because I think they have.
Absolutely. We'll talk,
I think
sir.
They have.
We'll talk. You have a wonderful day, but we'll talk another time. Okay, my friend?
Have a good one.
You take care, buddy. Bye-bye. Let's go to the last caller. That is line number 4. Yeah, there we go. Oh, another one is coming in. I'll try to do 4 quickly and then take that one. Let's see. I think that is Joan or James.
Yeah, but brother, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir. Talk to me.
Man, I have not listened to you for a long time, but somebody told me about you when I heard your voice. Man, you are great, and I appreciate you for bringing understanding to people in general, because what I see, because people don't read, okay, that is why this country is where it is going right now, that people see them bogus news and they accept it, you know.
Well, look, sir, first of all, I appreciate the kudos, but that's what we do here, right? That's what all our people here at KPFT, that's what we try to do. We try to bring news that other stations are not bringing. The people are not less informed because they want to be. They're less informed because there are not stations out there that are informing them. So for all of those who's listening to our station right now, remember, don't only listen to this show, but listen to Think Wing Radio on Mondays at 9 o'clock. Listen to The Monitor. We have a whole lot of stations here. So go to kpft.org and come to this show. And also remember, it's community radio, so please do remember, keep us on air by clicking on those buttons and donating to our show. Look, is there anything else quick that you have to say, James? Because I got to run to Jessica right now.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bringing understanding to the community, because these people, they want to divide and conquer.
Thank you, sir.
It's not going to happen.
You're a good man. Jessica, you're up. Thank you. You have a great one, James.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
Take care. Jessica, come on in. You're the last caller.
I'm sorry. Yes, I do agree with you that, yes, we should do everything that we can to give back. But, however, we know we have tax laws, certain 403Bs, things like that. We can fund money and things like that. If you make a certain tax, if you make a certain amount, you are a certain tax bracket.
Yes.
Right now, all the middle class are just being hammered. Okay?
You're right.
Set up the millionaires and billionaires. I think that's what you was trying to say in a way, but that's what the other gentleman couldn't really understand.
Yes,
we have to play it for evil, our talent, money, or whatever. But even with that being said, I think we need to get out there and vote and protest more in regards to all these deregulations that's hurting us. That's it.
Look, wow, you said that. Jessica, thank you. I didn't even have to cut it. You did a wonderful job, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, folks, this is the end. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, this is the end of the show. Thank you very much for giving me the time that you've given me. This was a wonderful show. Please do remember to keep on coming back. This is Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, and we are out.
Thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. You can personally reach me by sending an email to egberto@politicsdoneright.com. Remember, Egberto is spelled E-G-B-E-R-T-O. Change starts with you. 90.1 KPFT gives you information not tainted by corporate interest. Please visit kpft.org and contribute. Let's ensure continued access to real information and news remain available to all. Again, thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right.